Hi folks, welcome back to Tie One On with Jon. I'm Jon Hazlett of the Ashland Fly Shop. We've done the single stage, the mini intruder, bucktail intruder. We've done the bucktail intruder. And now we're going to do a 3-stage, articulated. So this one's tied with 3 different colors so you can see the different parts. But I've got my bucktail and turkey flat here in the back. And then articulates between the back and the front 2. So basically, if you remove that, you would have the standard fly minus the bucktail. So we're going to tie more of a prawny orangey version of this fly. So enjoy and take notes. Okay, so here we are at the vise, and what I've got is a little 25mm Waddington, and this is going to be our rear section. And so we'll tie on this first. This will be the part that articulates. And so first step here is going to be our trailing wire. And in this case, I'm going to use the 50-pound Hareline that I like to use. And like I mentioned before, there's several other options there. You can use Senyo's intruder wire, which is a coated wire. There's other coated wires out there. Whatever's available to you, as long as it's strong enough and you like working with it. Okay, we'll get a little thread on the hook here. And with a Waddington, I have to reorient my vise. So we got a little thread on the hook, and wind this back. There's just a little weak point with Waddingtons where it separates. So I gotta join these 2 pieces together. Just right here, likes to bend out a little bit. So now we're back tight. So I'm going to put this trailing wire on, and like any other fly, I want to make sure I got room to put my hook on, which I do at the end. So and because this is such a long fly, I just put a lot of extra trailing wire here. So I'll just like to even though I can kind of eyeball it, just measure it up against another fly I've tied. There's the hook. I got plenty of room between there and there, so that's going to fit. Okay. We're going to tie in some prawnier colors here. And as opposed to tying a fly that's all orange, we do like contrast. We're going to put a little chartreuse for the kind of that rear little dubbing ball. It's a chenille, cactus chenille, Estaz. That helps prop up our bucktail. Add a little contrast, a little pop to the rear of it. I just kind of want a pea-sized little ball here. Okay. Now I'm going to get some bucktail going. Okay. That looks pretty good. That little chenille ball just props that thing right up. So when that thing's swimming, it's going to take a little current. It's going to hold up good in the current. It's going to wiggle, and it's going to set there right. And if I can get a little wrap behind that, that's going to help keep that thing secure. Okay. We'll get that dude trimmed best we can. We're going to cover that right up with our turkey flat here in a minute. Okay. Turkey flat. Hareline has come out with the Intruder feather prop hackle, which is basically a turkey flat, but now we have a variety of colors, and so we can tie all kinds of cool stuff with turkey flats. Get that dude on there. And any of these flies that I tie, you can tie in a variety of colors. This one's going to be kind of prawny. It's really just up to your imagination. At the end of the deal here, we might even take a magic marker to it. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, almost done with this rear stage here. But not until I do a little flash. So, a little flash out the back, about a half dozen strands. This is Midge Flash in pink. And again, you know, there's a billion different flashes out there. You can use orange, blue, chartreuse, crystal flash, flashabou. Every fly can look a little different. Okay, I'm going to do, you know, from here forward is going to be pearl tinsel, but I'm going to wrap some wire around it so it doesn't come undone when you're fishing it. Add a little durability. So got that in there. And then get our pearl tinsel in here. Got that secure, and then I want to try to make this as even as possible, and I'm going to cover it all up in black thread. So I wrap that pearl tinsel around there, and before I go any further, I'm just going to shove these guys through the eye of this Waddington, because that's where they're going to go anyway. There we go. Just trying to make a nice flat surface to wrap our tinsel around here. Okay, that'll work. Okay, then that wire, I'm going to just wrap the opposite direction. Help hold it down. This is gold wire, small. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to, if you whip finish, it's kind of tricky getting around this, but at least get a half hitch in here to start. You kind of twist it around. I'll give you a little more room to work. Key to this not falling apart is a good adhesive. Okay. So before I take this out of here, I'm going to take my Loon UV clear fly finish and give this a good bath. This stuff works great. Just a little UV light cure. Okay, so this is where we take this out of the vise and we add our shank. I'm using a OPST Steelhead shank. I also like the OPST Intruder shanks. The main difference is just the way the eye of the shank looks. Okay, I'll do it in there. I'm going to put my lead eyes on, just like I'm starting a new fly here. So I like to put the lead eyes on the underside. Basically, the lead eyes determine how your fly rides. So if you want your fly to ride the way you're looking at it, lead eyes go on the bottom. Make my little cradle here for my eyes to sit in. So I just make a little mound, 1/16 of an inch apart. And then that's where my lead eyes sit. Little cradle, just like that. Oh, and I picked lead eyes that only have one eye. Let's try another one. These look a little better. You don't have to crank too hard on these. We're going to end up putting our trailing wire around it. Okay, I got my lead eyes on there. I'm going to zip back and forth up and down this shank and create a little bed for my trailing wire to lay in. So basically, I'm going to tie that dude on there. And my middle section here, my front section will be up here. So that looks about right. This fly is going to be huge, and you know, fishing a fly this size, it's not something you're going to fish every day. You might fish this fly once in a week, but you'll get to a spot, you'll think, you know what, it's time to go big. And they will eat them. They will eat them. Okay, we're secure. All right, so we got the lead eyes on there. We got the rear station connected to the front shank, and now it's time for our Senyo Chromatic Brush. These things are super cool. This is a 3-inch brush, and we're going to turn this guy right here. So this will kind of hide our junction here. You won't even know it's there. These wire brushes are awesome. This just takes place of, you know, making a big dubbing loop with different stuff in them, and they come in all kinds of cool colors, and so it's the poor man's dubbing loop. These 3-inch brushes, doesn't take a lot to give you lots of coverage here. Well, just enough to kind of blend into the next piece, but not so much that it covers up the tinsel body. Okay, we'll get this dude secure. Just takes a couple turns, a couple in the back. We get our dikes and cut that wire brush. Before I go any further, I like to brush it out a little bit. Okay. So this is where we put in our next turkey flat, next stage. Tied in the tip. Couple turns there, couple there. Oh yeah. It's already looking like a fly. Now what I'm doing, I'm kind of sizing it up. I left myself a little more than I wanted. So I'm going to just stop there and not turn the whole thing. Sometimes it's an educated guess and you adjust halfway. Okay, got that dude trimmed off. Now we're back to the Tinsel program. I make the same body we just made there. I'll tie in my wire tinsel first. And then my flat pearl. And you could use flat gold, flat silver. It's up to you. Body is already pretty nice and even and flat. I'm going to maintain some good pressure as I twist this guy on here. Getting some good overlap. And then my wire, I'm going to do that in reverse. Secure that. And I'm right back to chromatic brush. I'm going to put it on a little heavier this round. it's going to look good. Get a little out of hand, but a little unruly. Couple turns on that side, a couple on the other. Now we're secure. Cut that with my dikes. Back to the toothbrush, get that brushed out. Oh yeah, this thing's gonna look cool. Okay, so we're gonna finish this with black turkey flat just to add a little contrast to it. Oh yeah. All right, now we're at that point where we've got options. We can add a little more flash as a wing here like this. And since I already have flash in this rear station, I don't need to go all the way back. I really just need to meet up where I left off. So if I overlap a little bit, that's plenty. And now that I have this here, I want a couple fewer strands. Some of these things you can kind of guess ahead of time, but until you're tying it, each fly just turns out a little differently, and you just kind of adjust to what you think looks good right then and there. Okay. A little flash on top here. Yeah, that's going to look good. And this is that same flash I used before, Midge Flash. Yeah. Okay, now to finish this fly, we're going to add a little natural Guinea, black and white. A little Guinea collar. And if we put it on there and we don't think it looks good, we'll take it off. Guinea collar is optional, just adds a little extra bugginess, contrast. I think it's going to look good. All right, we're almost to the finish line here, folks. That thing looks cool. All right, so I'm just gonna do my blue collar half hitches. There's one. Double down on that one. Like that. Trim that off. Get my Loon UV clear fly finish. A little on top, and this stuff's pretty thin, so it'll just kind of soak down in. I'll just let it soak down a little bit. Do the same on this side. Get my UV light. That'll just cure up real quick. That's all we need. Okay, last part here, folks. I am going to cut this thing out of the vise. I'll just kind of push that all back. And there we have it, folks. We've got our triple-decker bucktail 3-stage intruder. Thanks for tuning in, folks. And we'll see you next time.